Hi, this is Lyndall, and today we will be doing a plan with me in my Erin Condren vertical from the 27th of May until the 2nd of June. Now, this is the second time I've used this same kit. I ended up with enough stickers left over that I could use it twice if I didn't use all the full boxes on the first time. It has two lots of day covers with a full 31 numbered date dots, so it is really good value if you want to spread your kits out to save a little bit of money. Now, I think it does cost around $23, but effectively you're getting like 2 mini kits out of it, so it sort of works out really well. So here I'm using my reverse tweezers to get date dots off and put them down. Oh, and this kit is called Wonderlust by the GP Studio, which I believe is in Western Australia, but don't quote me on it. Now, these stickers are really nice to the touch. They're very satiny and they are pretty thin, but still really good quality. So here I am just putting them all on my hands because it's easier if I have them all off the sheet first. In a second I'll realize that because they have the corners cut off that I will need to use my Tombow for those as well. Now, when I first bought this Tombow, I struggled a bit because I found that the tape always came off the green bit where it's supposed to be. But I also found that that little grey bit up the top, if you pull it out and then you push down to where the green bit is, it helps you keep straight as you put your correction tape on. So you get less of that slippage. Jesus, words. Okay, so you get less of that slippage to the side because you put the correction tape on a little bit more straight. So because these have the corners out of them, they're a little bit harder to line up. Not overly much, just it's not as mindless as if they had corners. You've just got to eyeball where the line of the box goes down. And if you've got a pretty straight eye, it's not that big of a deal, but I think if you had a problem with lining stickers up, then it might be a problem for you. So here I've grabbed a little bit of washi from the kit, and instead of using a full box for the quote box, I'm just going to put a washi header up there. The washi is very similar to the background on the day covers. So let me get that down. And also I sort of changed things up a little this week, as you'll soon see. I actually grabbed the checklists, which I only have 4 of left, which would be enough for what I usually do, where I put them 3, like I cut them down to 3 instead of 6. But because these checkboxes have a slight border around them, I didn't want to cut them up because it would look weird. So what I did this week is I put the checkboxes all down the sidebar. So I used 3 of them down the sidebar. Here's me trying to figure out what colour I'm going to use. So even though I feel that I have a pretty straight eye, when you're filming at the angle that I am, I don't have my head over my planner. It becomes a little bit harder. So if you see people out there struggling with stickers in their YouTube videos to get things straight, don't silently yell at them. Silent for them, but don't yell at them over, while you're watching, because it really is difficult to get things straight when you can't look directly over the top of it. So as you can see, I've broken the checkboxes up a little into this week. So I've got a running to-do list and a reminder category for the important things. And just underneath that, I'm going to put a little bit of washi and a couple of pieces of the deco. So I'm leaving this video mostly in real time, except for when I'm having trouble deciding what to do. I'm sort of editing that bit out so you don't have to watch nothing but minutes of indecision, which I figure would be quite boring. Unless you like watching paint dry, then it might not be boring, but to me it's boring, so I'm sort of trying to cut those bits out. And just as an example of what I'm talking about, I will give you a small example right now where I am trying to figure out which pieces of deco I want to stick down the bottom. Now that's 30 seconds of my life that I want back, so I'm not going to subject you guys to any more of that type of thing. So this video is going up a little bit late. At the time of voicing this over, it is in Australia 1 p.m. on Sunday the 2nd. Now, my videos may be a little bit haphazard for the next couple of months because I have some stuff going on that I don't want to talk about now, but I might talk about at a later date. So you're just going to have to excuse sort of my haphazard posting times on YouTube. So here I'm putting on the today headers. Now I really didn't need to do this, and I'm sort of going to be questioning my use of these labeled headers in the future. I think using the to-dos are quite fine, but I don't understand why the todays are there, simply because a lot of people that I see don't use it, and the date is right, and the day is right up on top of, especially on the vertical columns, it's right there. If it's that day, I'm pretty sure you don't need a header to announce it to you when you open up your planner. So I think those today headers are just a tiny bit extra, and I don't know why I use them. So here, because I don't have any washi left in this kit, I've got some sticker paper out, and I am ink blending some distress oxides. Now, you guys don't have to do this. I just didn't have any appropriate washi. If you guys had appropriate washi in your stash, that would be fine too. Anything that you could find that matched with the kit would work perfectly fine. You could also draw something on regular paper and cut a strip out of it and stick it down with regular adhesive. So I believe I end up using 2 strips of 15mm sticker paper coated in blue. I cut it out. I saved you having to watch me try and get the backing off of it because it's crazy annoying. The backing stuck to it really well. So here I'm laying it down, and as you can see, 15mm doesn't take up the whole bottom, but it does give a little bit of a block of blue color down there that is fairly close to the blue in the kit that is in those headers and the date covers. Obviously I'm struggling with the backing for the second piece. The reason I opened up my planner here was I wanted to get it pretty much lined up with the piece over the other side, so I didn't have one higher or lower than the other. It made for a bit of awkwardness while sticking it down, but when the spreaders open, they don't look so out of place. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. Using my metal ruler and this knife very gently to cut off the excess. So here we've got a pretty good base to work with. Now I believe I'm going to put in the full boxes that I have remaining. I believe I only have 5, so I'm only going to use them for the weekdays and then use the Hello Weekend for the weekend. These full boxes were, some of them were a little bit more of a wintry feel, so it was quite appropriate, as this week for me in the tropics it felt frigidly cold. Like anytime it drops below 20 where I am, because it's always up at 27 or higher, it's just, and I'm talking Celsius, not Fahrenheit, it's just, you get acclimatized to where you live, and yeah, so anytime it drops below 20 degrees Celsius, it's freezing for me, and the long pants and the long sleeve t-shirts and the socks come out, and yeah, so it sort of ended up that I used this kit, the rest of this kit, for the perfect week because it's been pretty frigid and cold. Looks like it's going to continue on into the next week. And funnily enough, the Australian ski fields opened early this season, and I just realized I put that full box on upside down. Wow. All week I've been staring at it, and it took doing the voiceover to the video to realize that it is on upside down. That is sort of hilarious, but sort of not. So I'm going to be fixing it in real time right now while I'm doing the voiceover. And here I am putting down the extra little bit of sticker paper that I coloured with that with that ink. Sorry, I'm sort of doing two things at once, doing the voiceover and doing resticking the sticker, because, you know, I can't stand for that, even though I'll be turning the page later on tonight and not coming back to it. So, yay for stickers being around the right way now. So there's that fixed. Wow, I can't believe I looked at that all week and didn't notice it until today. So here goes down the Hello Weekend. Still can't get over how I couldn't notice that sticker. The blue is at the bottom. Why? So we're just going to be putting the finishing touches on this Plan With Me spread. I mean, it's not really a plan with me. It's more like a decorate with me, because you guys don't see me put in much plans because I do my spreads a little bit in advance. So now I'm just decorating that strip down the bottom with the deco. I'm gonna have to go through and check all the others just to make sure. That one over near the sidebar. Yeah, no, that one's the right way up, and the rest are too. So, oh, I can't believe I did that. So, the deco is the same few images, just repeated in different directions, and some are smaller than the others, like some are resized. I'm not a big non-functional deco person, but I find that when I'm using a kit over 2 weeks and using my inks to create impromptu washi strips, that it sort of comes in handy. So here I'm thinking about lifting them up to fit another one in between them so that that doesn't look so spaced out. I end up putting a little snorkeling mask there, which is one of the smaller pieces of deco left. Now I'm going to use these little strips, these header strips I suppose you could call them. I'm going to put them in again. I don't know why I bothered, but hey, I did it, so you see it. Yeah, I think they sort of break up the spread just a tiny bit, but once I get them on the other page, before I put in any of my actual planning stuff, it looks a little bit strange because they're not above the washi strip that says Hello Weekend, and yeah, just to me it looks a bit strange, but that's okay. Once I get all of my planning stuff in, it actually, you don't really notice it. But yeah, I think I'm going to rethink my use of headers from now on. I might use glitter headers because, you know, who doesn't love glitter headers? But especially the ones that say today, it's just a little bit random. So we're reaching the home stretch. I am filling out some things. I really don't like how this came out, but I kept it anyway. So I was thinking I would try and use a different color pen in my planner. And do any of you have that thing where some pens you write really nice with and other pens your writing is crap? So that's what happened here. And I didn't like how thin it was, so I went over it with the thicker end of the pen, and I don't like that much more either. So there's nothing I can really do about that except either redo it or just leave it, so I end up leaving it. And now I've picked out one of these Flair pens, and I love my writing with these pens, although it might not be that great here, but yeah. So because I'm transitioning from full-time study into something else that I'm getting a grant for, I have to still report my activities every 2 weeks, and I get paid by the government, but that should stop after next fortnight, and then I will be doing something else with my life other than studying. Well, I've got one more unit to do in August, so I'll be doing it in conjunction to that, and it has to do with that thing that I'm not going to quite talk about, but I'm now talking about it, so yeah, sorry. So here is virtually the last of what I'm actually planning or pre-planning for this week. I'm putting in movie night, and I'm probably putting in family dinner, which got cancelled due to other things I can't talk about. Jesus, there's a lot of stuff I can't talk about in this video. Okay, so sorry about that, but my family dinner got cancelled, but I will still be having a movie night later on at night, which I usually don't bother to put in simply because we have sort of family dinner and movie night all together, and I find it a little redundant, but there we go. We've got movie night in. And here I am running family dinner in. I probably put it in for my next one, but I don't know if we have it. No, I didn't. Okay, so I'm not really going to have family dinner next week either. So I ended up writing a little cancelled over the top of this later, but not in this video. As you can see, I have ink all over my fingers, and that's because one of my Flair pens leaked in the container I had them in, and they all had ink all over the bottoms of the pens. So deco up the top, I end up, some of it will be will overhang the edge, and then I cut off the overhanging bits. And after I'd used this kit and actually filled out all of my things at the beginning of the week, and as I went on, it ended up pretty full. I'm actually really new to planning in the Erin Condrens, so it's taken me a couple of months to get used to the idea of how to plan in them, but I think I'm getting there. And I've still yet to take a photo of this spread, or last week's spread, and post it up. But the lighting around here hasn't been that well lately because it's been overcast and so cold. So I might need to fiddle around with some artificial lightning to get those pictures done. And as you can see, those bits of deco are images that are repeated a few times, and that's okay. I'm basically just trying to use them up at this point because I don't think I will be using them much, like the leftovers, much in the future with any other kit. So, if you liked this plan with me or decorate with me, I'd love it if you hit that like button. I would really love it if you subscribed, and if you are subscribed and you want to make sure that you get notifications of when I post, click the bell icon. I will see you guys for the next plan with me as soon as I can voice it over and get it up. I will try to get a picture of this up on Instagram. I know I said that for the last one, but as I said, the lighting's been bad, so I might just do a whole heap of snapshots and post them all up at the same time. So thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a happy planning. Bye.